Episode 4, version 2. That's it, Josh. We've recorded this episode previously.
We have. This feels very weird.
No, I take that back. We haven't recorded this episode. We've done this episode previously.
Well, technically we have audio form. So
we did. You did. You want to explain?
Recorded.
You want to explain what went on?
I guess so. Yeah. We set up the podcast exactly like how it looks now.
Exactly. Exactly.
To a T.
Yeah, correct.
And we pushed record on the Rodecaster.
Yeah.
But it appears that the record did not get pushed on the ATEM, which is our video feed.
Drama. But we will go into some solutions on that. So we're here hopefully redoing the episode. But we'll talk about some of the decisions we made and why we're redoing it, why we didn't run with what we had. All of these things are part of the journey, aren't they?
They are.
Part of the journey. You know what else is part of the journey?
I just had a complete mental blank.
Gin.
But
Gin is
I was
also
about to ask you, what's on the agenda?
That is
had to get that one in
well
there.
done.
What is on the agenda today?
We today are drinking a gin from a viewer from Ginworth. Sorry, they're not from Ginworth. They sent us this bottle from Ginworth.
Yep.
That's the brand.
Yeah.
Correct. All right, so we've got one for you, one for me, and Remy is not well tonight, so that's part of the podcast we couldn't recreate, unfortunately. So he's sitting on this one out. We got some different tonic water tonight.
I did notice that.
Yeah, trying something a little different.
Cappy tonic.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Someone's laughing at you for pronouncing it like that.
Is it not Cappy?
I have no idea.
Cappy.
It probably isn't, and someone's probably laughing at you.
Cap-I tonic. Just to really annoy people.
The Ginworth tonic. What do you think of the tonic in terms of the bottle and the looks? And
you mean the gin or the tonic?
Oh yeah,
the gin.
The agenda. Oh, you look at that. I'll pour this.
It looks very clean.
It does.
It's just simple. Nothing extravagant going on.
Elegant.
I don't mind it.
Okay.
You think that the gin will be elegant because it looks elegant.
Hopefully it's better than the gin we had last night.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. I didn't drink gin last night.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Are you familiar with Ginworth at all?
I am not actually.
No? Okay.
I've just seen though, the result is a gin worth drinking.
I got it.
There you go.
That's something good to have on the agenda. All right, excellent. We'll put that away. Thank you.
It's almost worthy of gin.
Thank you for the present. All right, here we go. See if this gin is worth it. Yeah.
Yep. It is a
gin.
worthy
We found it last week.
We did.
But we played that well, didn't we?
Yeah.
I thought so.
No one would know. How would they know?
How would they know? Well, speaking of gin, this is almost ironic that last week we recorded this show and the reason we did it on a Tuesday rather than a Thursday was because we were going to be attending via Zoom the Prohibition masterclass, gin masterclass, which comes as part of the here you go.
I've got it ready.
Part of the package. This thing. The Zoom tasting masterclass from Prohibition. But it's part of our subscription. If you I think episode 1 we talked about our subscription to Prohibition. And so we get invited to this thing. And last week we recorded the podcast. We were all set, finished it up with about 3 minutes to spare. Josh goes, have you got the email that Prohibition sent out an email that gives you the details, the link? I'm like, I don't remember getting an email. No, I don't remember getting that at all. And then I looked at the date and I was a week early. It was the 31st of May. And it was the only reason Josh came into work that day. Only reason we ran the podcast that day. And so ruined that. Then we're like, okay, well, next Tuesday will be good. And then we found out that there was issues with the podcast. So tonight we're still doing the same thing.
We are back.
We are recreating.
Deja vu, complete exactly deja vu.
So we are joining this Zoom masterclass this afternoon or tonight to go through the gins that we were sent in the box. And I guess we haven't done one before, so I guess we'll see.
I am very intrigued as to what it's going to be, what it's actually going to look like.
Which got us thinking about another element of marketing and small business and other things that is often untapped is I don't know what I'm doing with this. I'm gesticulating with a piece of cardboard to say experiences.
Yes.
Experiences, Josh, are a thing. That's well laid out. Experiences are a really good value add and a really good sort of additional option. So we did an experience on Thursday night.
We did.
So one of our businesses that we look after is in the world of optics, particularly in thermal optics and night vision, or particularly this night was. And so one of the reps was from Interstate, and coordinated a evening of looking through, thermal binoculars and monoculars and scopes and all sorts of stuff.
The full range
of the products, and it's the type of thing where these devices will range from $2,000 to $10,000. So they can be a lot of money. Yeah. And so for people to get hands-on with them doesn't necessarily happen all that often. And especially to be able to get hands-on with like 30 different options in one go is very rare to get a hold of.
Yeah, and when you're looking at putting down that sort of money on a product, it is very nice to be able to go and have a look and have a look at the cheaper option, and then maybe if you were looking at the expensive one, go and have a look at that and go, you know what? That's worth it. Or you go mid-range and go, actually, gives you some perspective as to where you're buying along the spectrum of quality to price.
Absolutely. And so it was a good opportunity like that. And the other thing is that, shops are generally open during the day, and thermals and night vision work really well at night. And so extended the hours and ran into the evening and did this sort of thing. And there's a lot of questions and a lot of sort of unknowns about this side of the particular product category. And so being able to sort of get there with an expert and talk with them and ask them questions, it was good. So we'll come back to that in a moment, the actual night and how it went. But I can tell you this straight up front: we sold nothing that night.
Yeah.
All right. We'll come back to that though. So it was good. We had probably about 25 people come through, 20, 25.
Yeah, it would have been that. I was surprised by the amount of people that physically came through, which it was good. It was a good surprise.
This is for a store that's predominantly online and has a small retail presence at the moment. And so sort of a bigger event, 20 people is like 6 people come through that shop in a day. That's a massive day.
Yeah. You see 2 or 3 people come in at once and you go, oh, it's getting full down there.
What's going on? Yeah, exactly right. So it is 20 plus people. For some retail that's not even opening, but for this particular sort of setup, that's quite a bit.
Yeah.
However, we thinking like we do, we wanted to make the most of the evening as well. And so we had Jake, who was the expert, the subject matter expert, with us. And so Jake and I got on camera and did some live streams. And so each live stream we would talk about it, and we would then be able to, Josh, you worked out technically how to stream from these optical devices to an iPad, which would then stream out to a streaming deck.
Yeah.
And so we were able to show what these things looked at, and then we had one of our clown friends run down the road and would appear on the thermal and run around and dance.
Yeah,
and do
it's good to give you a moving subject in the frame.
That's right. So you can see the contrast and that sort of thing. So that was good. It was really smooth. Now you were super nervous about talking about the production side of things for a moment.
Yes.
You were super nervous about this.
I was. The live production side of things was pretty comfortable with. That's we do that on the regular now. That's fine.
Yeah.
But it's the integration of throwing a device in, not just a device, but several devices.
Yep.
That all use different software.
Yes.
And some of them work like fantastically well. You just pair it up and there it is. It works. And then others that can pair up really well, or they have the potential to just freeze and not work.
Yeah, correct.
Like I was extremely nervous about given timeframes of going, all right, got to finish a stream and then get the next one all lined up and working.
Yeah.
Played with it earlier and same experience. Some went, cool, pair, done, simple. And then other times it was like, pair? No, please pair. But it went remarkably smooth.
It did. And so we had quite a few people watching on the night. The videos varied from 5 or 6 people through to 15 or 20.
Yeah, something about that.
And then you'd leave those videos up for a little while, and you'd see they had 100 views over the last hour.
I think over the course of the night across all the videos, we probably had 200 to 300 views across the range of them by the end of it, which is fantastic.
Yeah, and that's leveraging, because we were going to be here anyway. We were going to be doing things anyway. And so being able to leverage that the time and the people in the room to be able to sort of broadcast that out was super useful. And hey, look, that could have been done on a phone, that could have been done in some way, but the ability to be able to actually show what these optics were looking at was
The one aspect that I really liked about it actually was we had the thermal optic set up, or whatever, the night optic set up, and then we had a camera. And throughout the night, whenever we would start the stream, I would match the camera to make it as close as to what I could physically see at the time.
Yep.
So that we could then cut to that shot of, all right, what does it look like outside? And you'd see the camera, and this is what we can see.
Yeah, they're reasonably dark. You got a little bit of light down the driveway, and
so you made out enough to you'd see the stuff that was there, but then you switch over to the night optic, and that's when you can go boom, like here it is, and you're like, okay, it gives you something to put it against, to go, okay, contrast. This makes a big difference, yes.
Yeah, rather than two people standing in a well-lit room going, hey, okay, we're just going to throw to outside, and everything's white and black.
It looks fine. You can see everything here, whereas you cut back to a shot that's as close to what you can physically see, and you go, ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
One of my favorite ones was there was an optic that you can control remotely. The movement, it will move 360 and go up and down and do all this sort of thing, and going to that and then having that move around, and it really brought a dynamic element to it. And so, what we were able to do was leverage the effort put in on that night, on the event, on the experience for people, and bring in the online audience into that. Now those videos got being packaged up, and the first one's dropped out tonight, and
it did.
And so those videos then create content, and now there will be, that's like just how they were, just tidied up a little bit. There will be also some more snippets out of them, again using that sort of hero content concept of being able to
grabbing your package and extracting all the various gamuts that you can from that.
Yeah, and we had one technical challenge on the night, and one. I don't know how to call it, interference on the night. So the only technical challenge was one camera wouldn't stay running off battery despite the battery was charged.
Yeah, it wasn't even off battery. It was actually plugged into USB power.
And then it just turned off several times.
Turned off.
But yeah, these were times where it was we were watching the optic, and we had like myself and Jake, the subject matter expert, in a small little picture-in-picture. So we were there, and then we'd sometimes drop out because of this battery. But it only happened for one stream, and then you were able to put a bigger battery on it and solve it.
Yeah, it was fun. I think if you watched the cut-down version, you wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know.
You wouldn't even know.
Yeah, that's it. So that was good. And then we had you were there. You wanted to talk about it from your side, because I know from my side. What did you see?
It's great having someone from, one of the fantastic people that came along to have a look through the optics, just come into the set, have a chat. And I got the first bit of it, and I was like, all right, we're showing outside shots. That's cool. Because we had a TV that you guys were seeing. You could see what was happening on the stream. That way you could view what we were showing through the optics.
We had an intruder.
And I remember pressing the button to cut back to your camera because we were wrapping up.
And you couldn't see us. You couldn't see our set at this. Oh, no, you could on the camera.
On the little picture-in-picture, you could. Yeah. But I expected to cut back and have it pop up on the big screen that we were back to this shot, and, you would sort of see it and go, oh, I'll just mosey on out of frame.
Melt out,
Instead, what I saw was looked straight at the screen and the camera and just turned back around and looked at you.
He did, and then he did his hair. I don't know if you saw that. So
I didn't notice that.
This gentleman walked in, and he's we're chatting to camera, like streaming, presenting, and he's walked in and just sidled up to the bench and put his arm on the bench. How you going? I'm like, how are you, mate? Good to see you. We're just live streaming at the moment. He's like, okay. Looks over, and then you sort of see this look on his face for a moment. He looks over, sees the screen, sees the camera. Then he sort of turns and like plays with his hair, and then turns back, and then just sort of, no, I'm here for the night.
Yep, this is me.
It was. There's going to be memes out of that. It was great. It was really quite funny.
Yeah,
it was good fun. He's a good bloke as well. He just doesn't care.
Yep, fair enough.
Anyway, that was quite amusing. So you get all sorts of challenges, and just how you deal with it. And credit to Jake, he didn't throw him off. He just kind of kept
going.
And away we went. We talked about the stuff and we had a guest.
Yeah, he was fantastic on the streams too.
Jake, yeah.
Yeah, it's one thing sometimes you can get people that come along and film with you for various things and you never quite know how people are going to act around a camera.
This is true.
Some people just see a camera and they're boom, like they're straight into it, and then other people are just all over the place, don't quite know what to do. But no,
don't know what to do with their hands. Yeah.
He was he locked into the camera. I noticed it halfway through a stream and I was like, he's actually just staring directly into the camera. And I was like, this is great.
Yeah, he didn't require any training or anything like that. Actually, we made a video the other day with a guy. We just sort of randomly picked a guy that we knew, didn't know a huge amount about him or his background or anything. We sort of got him to, I guess, star in this YouTube video about a particular product. But and I knew he would present well. Like I thought, he's he can talk well and he's friendly and he's
very well spoken.
He's well spoken, these sort of things. So I thought, no, he'll be excellent. What we didn't know until we watched it back and you were amazed the whole weekend. You were telling me, he's like been really good. Like this is amazing content.
Straight to the point. No, like, the scope was this was great, and then we did this, but this wasn't, and then it was just in out. I think even when we edited it, Sam, who edited it, just said, I didn't cut any of the in betweens. I just went from the start and the finish, and that was it.
Yeah. So we since found out that he is public spoken all around the world, and he's like presented to the UN, and he's done all these amazing things, and we're just like,
which explains everything.
Yeah. But anyway, you never quite know. Experiences. So experience, bringing it back to them. I'm really looking forward to this because this, when I say this for those who are listening, the Prohibition night tonight, because. I know we've paid for it, but this is effectively like a little freebie, a little bonus thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool to be able to get that access and get this thing. And we're excited about it. We're making a bit of a night of it. I'm looking forward to it. And it hasn't cost me anything, but it's like exclusive and it's value add.
You have to be in this sort of little club to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's cool.
So kudos to them, and I think for small businesses, like being able to have that little additional level of a bonus sort of connection point, and it's good, because they're going to present some stuff, and we're like, we've got to buy that as well. We know this.
We've got a box that has all the bits they're going to talk about, which is great.
And then they'll be like, you can get a bigger bottle of that. We're like, yes, we can.
Yes, we will.
Yes, we can.
From a producing side of things, I'm very interested to see how they do it, especially after the week we just had, holding our own sort of experience of going, all right, like how is another company gonna tackle this? Because while they're very different fields, it's in a similar way of come and join us, come and have a look. Yeah,
it's interesting actually. We'll come back to that. There's two things. There's so much to talk about, Josh. There's so much to talk about. I've forgotten we recorded this episode and talked about half these things already because I've got all these new ideas.
I've got things sitting next to me waiting.
So on this one, I'm interested in how they do that because we had some follow up from the experience we ran and the streams that we did. The follow up was that we have now secured first preference as that company has become like the preference dealer for that supplier because of how well those streams ran.
Oh, I did not know that. Fantastic.
You did not know that?
No.
Oh, well, there you go. So we got a call and they talked a little bit about it and they're like, we want to send you every demo that comes in the country. The first product in the country is coming to you. We were like, this is the way it's going.
Yes, we'll take it.
Yeah, because of the quality of the work. Now that's whether that was us who did the work or someone on our behalf or something. The fact is that it's like from our suppliers for that company, it was really looked upon favorably. So, there's an element. The quality does certainly matter, and doing some of these things that are outside the box because no one else is doing that sort of thing, and certainly not to the extent they might sit there and stream it, which I suspect is what we're going to have tonight. We're just a camera and you do it, and honestly, that's better than nothing. That's better than not doing it.
100%.
Yep. but them being able to level up as well can really make a point of difference because being able to stream those events and do those sort of stuff is becoming pretty standard now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the cost of this sort of gear, the gear we're using, maybe not the cameras we're using, but the actual streaming deck that we're using is relatively cheap. So being able to sort of level up is within reach for many.
Yeah.
But I will go back to it's better to do it than to not do it. So even if you're streaming off your phone and you're going to run an event, you want to talk to everyone and do a Zoom call or whatever it might be.
Yeah, just
do it rather than don't.
With whatever you have, just do it.
And
it's
speaking
100%
of
worth it.
low production quality, we are planning to actually start doing our own little Zoom catch-ups with people who play a role in marketing, in some medium business, small business, maybe some large business, but to be able to get together and talk about what is working, what isn't working, being able to rather than us having to try everything out and other people having to try everything out, we can all leverage our experiences and
yeah, well, it's a tried and proven method that works. I've seen various YouTubers do that where they collaborate with a whole different people. Whole different group of people.
Oh, yeah, group.
Yeah, English, okay. It's great.
Words.
But yeah, and it's, everyone's doing, they might be doing similar things. Everyone's doing different things. You can all get together and go, all right, well, this definitely didn't work. And if you get a few people that go, no, this just doesn't work, chances are it's not really going to work.
This is true.
Yeah, and the other way, you get someone that goes, oh, this works so good for me. And you can give that a shot and go, oh, actually, it didn't really work for me. And then you go, maybe that's niche specific to what you do. But taking the experiences of many and learning from what everyone's doing.
Absolutely.
Worth it, 100%.
So stay tuned if you're following the podcast and you're in that sort of role, both either in your own small business, you're in every role, which I can certainly relate to, or you work in that role in a larger organisation. We would love to be in touch and be able to get together over a gin or whatever is your poison, but preferably gin, and chat away on a Zoom call for 40 minutes and see what comes out of it.
Yeah.
I think it'd be an exciting way of learning some stuff. And we've got a few guys hooked up for that already. So
I'm keen for that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. We're going to be kicking that off sometime mid to late June. So stay tuned on the socials and we will bring you on board with that.
The comment section does get checked.
Good stuff, Josh. Good stuff. Now, are we moving on to a business update or did you still have something on this?
I had one last thing I wanted to add to our experiences.
Because I saw a stack of little things.
I have a stack of little things. There's two different things. I mean, one I guess is, it's just a nice little touch for your...
You fan those out, I'll fan these out.
All right, cool. Is there one more?
Oh, you got one more over
One more
there.
in
Okay.
there.
Now I see the difference. All right, I won't give away the surprise. All right.
Cool.
It's not that big a surprise.
No, not really.
Carry
but
on.
in these packages that we get, you have just
recipes.
little recipes for, hey, you brought this gin. You should try it like this. This is a good way to have it. I think that's a nice little touch to be able to go through and go, actually, I have Mediterranean tonic. That's so simple.
Yeah.
And give that a crack.
Absolutely. I think Prohibition do the value add really, really well.
Yeah, because it's such an easy thing to throw in.
And then this one.
This one.
What are we looking at here?
I have been the photos.
Oh, okay. Yep.
I have been impressed by their level of the quality that has gone into the photos.
They are.
And it's
really good.
It's something that I appreciate as someone who takes photos for our products and things and gone, no, some thought has gone into that. And just to throw it into the mix is, it's just a nice little thing to receive. And I guess it's an appreciation for the effort that someone has gone to.
You know how quickly I am to throw anything out. If it's not tied down and we're not using it in the last week, it's probably gone.
Like that.
We haven't thrown these out.
No.
Because
they have stuck around.
They have use. They have use.
I wouldn't be surprised if some of these were from our first box that we received.
I would agree.
In fact, I reckon that one is the Shiraz barrel.
Yeah. I think you're right. Cool. All right. That is our. Don't lose that. That's on soon.
Oh, we've got the email.
Okay, we do.
Yeet.
Business update.
Yeah.
I believe now, and this is the part I'm going to forget what we talked about last time.
Yeah.
We've started our bank account. We got that all squared away. We had problems with that, but we got there.
I don't think we've got too far with business update. Should we just do a full recap from the start?
We started a company. We haven't done much with it. However, we're starting to we launched our website. That's what we did.
We did. We launched a website.
That's right. This is getting into my commitment that I made from last time. So let's talk about that. So my commitment from the last episode, the actual last episode, was to launch Captivating Attention properly.
That's right.
All right. And so
that was just fully recapping. That was emails, socials, all of that aspects.
I was just going to get into it.
Okay,
I was just going to get.
I'll let you go.
Right,
I'll just relax. I'll drink my gin quietly.
Your gin and see what it's worth. We'll hold on to that actually. And so the first podcast went up, and so these podcasts are a little bit out of time, but we'll catch back up into real time. Probably the episode after this one here, the next episode is probably going to be in real time. And so the first podcast went up. We started putting TikToks out, started putting Instagram stuff up. Email got up running. The phone works. That one there.
I did.
Yeah, you can ring.
Pretty sure I did this last time, but let's do it again.
You can do it. And the website is up now. It needs some work. All these things do, but it's all up. And I think the second episode is up by now. So things are all happening. Is it going to work? You look nervous.
Have I got the right captivating attention saved?
Yeah.
Hey,
look at that. All right.
That took a while. I think that was my phone that took a while.
Hello.
I can't hear you because I've got headphones on.
Yeah, this is not going to work at all.
If you're really a client, leave a message. Professional.
Things are happening. We are. I guess we're gearing up for it. But we've got. Look, next week we're off to. We've got like 4 filming sessions next week.
We do. I'm excited and nervous.
Yeah, that's going to be. We'll get onto that. We're going to try and. We're going to cover the Victorian trip at the end of this. Episode, we'll cover that shortly.
We will.
But anyway, that's. I guess the business update is now we're actually rolling. We're actually moving forward now. We're honestly flat out with the other companies and commitments we have, which is great. But we are making headway into new stuff, and we're getting some products delivered to be able to do content with, and videos with, and we've fortunate enough we made some videos that have gone extremely well for clients that they've been very happy with.
Yes.
And the feedback has been
fantastic to see.
Yeah, has been really good. So we will continue to do that. There is one of the biggest challenges is what do you charge? And this we will get into it for an episode. I suspect 1 or 2 episodes. We're going to talk about how do you charge for this stuff, because
I'm guessing this leads into my commitment that I did.
It is baffling. That's not where I was going with it, but that's a really good segue. Let's not talk about anything, and that's exactly how we were going to, which leads into...
Because my commitment was time tracking.
It was.
Which is something that works extremely well for working how much you should charge, because how do you know what to charge unless you know how many hours that you've put in?
And how has time tracking gone for you, Josh?
It went 80% good.
Okay. Well, at least you're able to track it down to 80%. Well done.
Exactly. Time tracking.
Yeah, nice.
Yes.
Tell me more. Tell me more. Did you track your entire life or just work?
Just work. Kept it to just work because I don't need to know how many hours I spend playing F1 games at home. Or how much sleep I don't get. So, I did it. So when I got into work, I would start. Well, I wasn't always good on this, but either I would start it as soon as I got in or I'd sort of start 10, 15 minutes into my task, and then it would just twig for me and go, time tracking. And then luckily you can jump back in time and it's just 1, 2, 3, jump back 15 minutes.
It is difficult. It is a difficult habit to get into. I'll definitely grant you that. Yeah, you need some prompters to make you do that.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
So I did that. And so I got the first probably 5 days felt like I was really good with it. Mm-hmm. And I'd have a task, I would finish the task, and then I would stop, and then I'd start what I was doing next. Or if I wasn't doing anything, I would leave it, come back, and then start it.
Yep.
And the biggest thing that I found was I am very sporadic in my tasks that I do. I can go from here to here, back to here, but then over to here, and I jump all over the ship.
Mm.
Yeah, which... in hindsight.
Or the shop as well.
Or the shop.
You got all the way to a ship. I'm very impressed.
That's how far I go. Yeah.
Yeah, impressive. Impressive. Speaking of some gin worth.
But it made me realize that I should be much more thoughtful in how I'm doing things, and rather than jumping from this place to there all over the shop going, all right, I'm here. When I have that thought to go to the next place, rather than just doing it and going and doing that post for another brand, just go, all right, either finish this task because it's more important, and then, because there was times where I was looking at social posts and coming in going, all right, I need to have at least 2 posts that go out over these 2 brands. And I would get partway through one, and then either I'd get slightly distracted with, hey, can you quickly have a look at this? All right, cool. And then I'd come back and be like, oh, projectile, this post, I need to do that. And then I can't look at the next tab, and I was like, oh, the photo's sitting there and it just needs a caption.
Yep.
Why didn't I just finish that caption?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which sort of, if I throw back a bit further, I downloaded a daily planner from a TikToker.
Okay.
Because why not?
Yep.
I saw it and I went, you know what? It was like $3, I think, to actually get it. And I went, if I pay for this, I'll have to commit to it a bit more.
Especially for the $3.
It was.
That's like a week's worth of pay for you.
And I did that. I did that for 2 weeks. I committed and I did it.
I like how he's laughing.
And then I just forgot about doing it. So my plan
that $3 has gone out the window.
My plan did not work. But in those 2 weeks that I was doing things, I did notice that, because you can plan every hour. So every hour of the day is, you pre-do it the day before.
Yep.
And when I was doing that, I was much better with managing my hour blocks and going, all right, this is an hour to do this brand, everything I need for this brand.
Yep.
And I would sit there and I would do it. And you can get, 10, 15 minutes either way, where sometimes you'd finish early or you'd go, oh, I've just got one more thing to do.
Yeah.
And you just finish it off and then move on to the next.
Sure.
And I was much more organized in hour block here, and I would stay on focus because I knew I would jump back and look at what I was doing and go, all right, the next hour I'm going to be doing this brand. So rather than just jumping through midway, you go, all right, this is now finished now. I don't need to think about that for the rest of the day. Next.
Yep, onto it.
And so on and so forth.
It is a battle. You this is not something foreign to me. It is something that today I was all over the shop with it. And it sometimes takes a real conscious effort. And so one of the best things that I had ever found, it's interesting you bring up blocks. You bling them up as well. It's interesting you bring up blocks because I used to work and have been advised, and apparently the research says that 45 minutes is like the optimal time for focus.
Yep.
So much longer than 45, and you start, and shorter than that, 45 minutes seems to be a sweet spot.
Yeah.
I can't present you a study that said that. I can't tell you the source. That is what has been ingrained for me for a number of years.
Yeah.
But I tried it. And it worked. And then honestly, when I was running in 45 minutes blocks, is regularly been the most effective I have been, or the most efficient I've been. And I need to get back to it.
Yep.
I need to get back to it and to be able to, set the days out in 45-minute blocks, do 45 minutes, and then you got whether you put in a 10 or 15-minute gap or whatever it might be. But the best way I did it, set the alarm on my phone. And 45 minutes, countdown, away we go.
Yeah.
And you work. And then when it goes, you might have one last thing left to do or whatever it might be. No, you stop. Take a break. And then you've got like this, I would plan it out so I'd have like a 10-minute buffer, and I could finish off a task or get up and walk around or do something different.
Yeah.
Or you do some of those little annoying things in that 10 minutes, that just they're not a 45-minute block. They're a 12-second.
Just check those quick emails, have a quick little check of socials.
No, email is very conscious. Email is you'd only check emails twice a day, that sort of thing. So
my emails aren't that big, so.
True. And so, the 45-minute block is something that I am going to put out there, that I'm going to get into over the next couple of weeks of our podcast, which will be skewed. We're going to talk about Victorian shortly, but that's something that I'm going to learn. So where do you take your time tracking from here? Has it helped you be more productive or better, or is it something you're going to lean back into?
It's definitely something I'm going to keep going, and it's something that I think like we will adopt.
Yep.
Sort of media team wide.
Okay.
Because I mean, for what I'm doing, I think is a little bit different to what the other guys are doing. Because the other guys is sort of on the task of working out. All right, for this particular project, how much time do we spend setting up the editing, and from the start to the finish?
Yes.
How long does a podcast take to produce?
Yep.
Which reminds me, I stopped
twice.
I didn't press stop on my setting up the podcast.
Oh, okay.
So that can be now set up and filming.
There you go. There you go. And then you can work out how long we film for because it's got a run time.
Yeah.
And then the balance will be set up.
Yeah.
Look at us learning on the fly.
We are.
Yeah, we still recording? I just want to make sure.
I think so.
And do you have to double that for this episode or not? The time taken.
I don't know. The other one didn't happen.
That's right.
I'm ignoring it.
And so that's interesting.
I want to keep it going.
Good.
Want to keep it going for at least my days at work, and I kind of want to extend it into everything that I do.
I tell you this, I when I did time tracking, I did it with a program called Timery that had a back end of what's the back end called? Toggl, right. So Toggle's the driving force behind it, and Timery is the interface.
Yeah.
And you would hit different timers, and they're all color coded to different tasks and different areas and elements and stuff like that.
You haven't got that fancy with it yet.
It is really good, and so you could look back at your day, look back at whatever it is. But I time tracked every moment of the day, 24 hours.
That's what I'm scared of.
Yeah, it is scary, and do it because it shows you. It shows you how. It shows you how inefficient you are.
Yeah.
Right, which is a lesson that
I'm scared of it.
Is perhaps, but at least it gives you a data point.
Yeah.
And it shows you that, hey, you were at work for 8 hours, right? And you actually worked for 4.5 of them.
Yeah.
Right? Effectively, and the others you just sort of faffed around a bit. And, I guess as an employee, maybe that's a win. I don't know. It depends on your attitude to work. But as a business owner, which many of our viewers and such will be, or they've got a stake in the business somehow, or they're a startup and they just they're all on board type thing. You want to be at work for 8 hours and get 10 hours of work done.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's been a very interesting shift for me.
In real startup world, you're at work for 15 hours and you want to get 24 hours worth done. But anyway, it's all right.
I've noticed that shift in mentality for myself because previously I was on, the start of that spectrum was, cool, I was at work for 8 hours. I did 4 hours worth of work. Sick. I got paid for 8 hours.
Yeah.
And now I come to work and I'm just sitting there trying to get through things all day long. And it's just like, if I can get a few hours ahead today, that's going to make tomorrow so much better. And it's that
it is so much
trying to be as efficient as possible with your time.
It's so much more rewarding as well.
Yeah.
For many of us, that's a rewarding thing. Now you're working towards a matter of admin, and a few weeks away you will be self-employed, effectively.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you know the best thing about being self-employed, Josh?
What's that?
You get to choose which 18 hours a day you work.
I've heard this phrase before, and it's something that I've not been dreading, but going, that's going to be me.
Oh, it's no, mate. The way you've worked previously there's probably no difference. But anyway, time tracking is a terrible thing. It's horrible. It's not fun to do, but it is valuable. It is valuable, and I think I would encourage people to try it, to do it for a month, for 2 weeks, for whatever it might be. It gives you a data set, and then be able to sort of implement. So like, I don't necessarily suggest time tracking forever.
Yeah.
But time track, and it gives you a point where you could implement some different changes into your productivity.
Yeah.
To how you work, and then maybe time track again in 3 months and see if it's better off.
See if you've kept those good habits.
Yeah, it's almost like I don't see it as as like something you do all the time. Some people do and they love it, and that's great. But I see it as a like little checker every 3 months. Do it for 2 weeks, and then see how it's stacking up.
See where you sit, because you've got the previous one to sort of compare it to and go, I've started wasting a bit more time, or I've become more productive.
Actually, so what I need to do is I actually need a time track and then break down. Yeah, so we're going away next week. We'll talk about that in a moment. But when I get back, I'll time track when I get back for 2 weeks. Yep. which will be interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah, because I think it's really good to have your day spaced out in blocks.
Yeah.
I'm actually just like looking back at when I used to sort of just do editing.
Yeah.
I'd set a timer for about half an hour, 40 minutes. I think it was about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And when that timer was on, editing. Like, don't pick up the
Nothing
phone,
else.
don't do anything else. Just zone in. Timer would go off and just. I was working from home then. Just get up for a bit of a stretch. Like, go, do your bits that you need. Like, have a quick scroll through TikTok, Instagram, and then come back, start the timer, repeat.
Away we go. Yeah.
Don't look at anything, just do it, and you go, wow, I got so much done.
Yeah, nice. All right. We've been looting about this Victoria trip. Oh, hang on. What was your commitment? What are you going to do the next 2 weeks?
Mine was just my continuation of time tracking.
Okay.
I had something much more robust.
Are you talking out your chin?
My what?
You
My
literally
chin?
have your microphone in your chin.
Yep.
I'm not sure
That
if
sounded
you
amazing.
understand how how mouths work, but anyway.
What?
All right, cool. So that's what you're going to do. You continue. So we're both time tracking. We're both boring with it. Okay, great.
From memory, our last commitment was actually to time track between the three of us, but considering there's two of us, we'll scratch that.
Why would you even bring that over?
I don't know.
Why?
Edit, done.
So we're going to Victoria.
We
for
are.
a week, for 8 days or something. We leave Monday. Today is Tuesday, so we're late. No, we leave next Monday. I should clarify.
Mini heart attack.
You did kind of freak out then. And so we are driving over. So that's the day.
Yep.
And then we've got a meeting with one company. We're filming most of the day with them. We're going to go to another company. We're going to catch up with Danny for dinner, and also he's got a little showroom shop, and he doesn't know this, but we're going to make him a little promo video about it.
Yeah.
I hope he's all good with that. We'll find out real quick. Anyway,
who doesn't love free promo work?
He's a good mate, so we want to do that for him, and also just something else that we get to like do a tour of a place and film that.
Oh yeah, filming in different places is never a bad thing.
These are things we enjoy doing. And then the next day we're going to another company, and there's lots of product work, lots of interaction with that. But both of these places, we are hoping to. They're big enough companies. They've got media people. They've got marketing teams.
Yes,
with 2 or 3 or 4 people on their marketing team. And so we're actually we've been connecting with I don't know if it's a marketing manager, whoever it is that takes care of their social media side of things. And we're actually going to sit them both down, hopefully. One of them's confirmed. The other one we're waiting. Have you talked to the other one?
I have. I just need to confirm what day we're going to be there, and then we'll see if they're there. Okay. If not, they've said there's someone else that will.
Okay, cool. So we want to sit down with them and actually talk as part of our podcast, as part of this. Not actually the reason we're filming or anything, but talk sort of more meta about it, about, what they do and what they've learned and what they've found and what works for them, what hasn't worked and what they wish would work and all that sort of thing. So we're going to try and give you guys another perspective of, these are people who are actually day by day running social media campaigns and creating content and doing all this sort of stuff as well for their brand that they work for. And so not small business. They were small by definition in terms of legally, but not small by our standard of
not our small.
You and us.
Definitely not.
Bigger companies than that. So just a different dynamic. And so we're going to get their input on that as well. So I look very much forward to chatting and getting some other stuff, other people involved in these conversations, which is something you actually want to do. We want to start bringing other people into our conversations here so that we can leverage some additional experience for those who are watching us.
Oh, it lends itself to everyone does things a different way, and learning from how everyone does things is a brilliant thing.
Absolutely. And it's interesting to see that sometimes the bigger companies that have the budgets and have the staff dedicated do some things that maybe are often more traditional. And it's harder for them to break into something odd or unusual. And the smaller dynamic companies that have 2 people on staff or 1 person or 4 or 5 or whatever it might be, they can just sort of do whatever they want.
Yes, you have sometimes a bit more freedom.
Yeah, but then there's bigger companies that also have more freedom. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm curious to see as we develop, and we've got a few lined up over the next few months to come and chat with us. So both owners of businesses as well as media people within businesses. I look forward to sharing all of that.
Very much look forward to it. I'm keen for the trip as a whole.
And then, so back to the trip. That's right. And so we've got a couple of podcasts. So when we're talking about our commitments, we may actually have a few podcasts that drop in between about them. So that'll be coming up. And then we're going to a place called Buchan in East Gippsland in Victoria.
Yeah, I love Buchan.
I was going to say, we've been there before. We went over there for an event that and we didn't go ahead thanks to the lockdowns, and then we stayed there for an extra night, and then because of that we end up in quarantine for 2 weeks. But enough said
Good
about
times.
that. Enough said. We had a wonderful night at the pub on a corporate card, someone else's corporate card.
Fantastic.
It was great. So we're going over there, and one of the things, I've been to Buchan maybe 6 times for this event, right? I have never actually been around Buchan. The last time we stayed there, we were there for a day, and I did go for some big walks and actually saw the place and saw the
what
views.
was actually around the area.
I was like, this is really nice. But of course, we were actually in lockdown, so I was under my 2-hour exercise limit, so I couldn't. Nothing was open to go and do anything. So we are planning, fingers crossed, to actually go and do some vlogs basically of the caves, which is what Buchan is well known for.
Yeah, until you mentioned it the other day, I didn't know they had caves there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we just spent all your time at the pub. That's why. And so we actually want to go and do some of these sort of things. So we're going to enjoy that, making some videos, making some content with some cool sort of stuff like that. So keep an eye out for that.
Going to be a content-filled week.
Yeah, it will. And then we've got a couple of stories at the particular event. We're following a couple of different people with their stories and storytelling, just practicing that art of storytelling and being able to create a video that tells a story. And so this was we talked about the gentleman before, Charlie, who you filmed. There's a shooting match, and you went along and filmed, and he was given a product to use for the weekend, but it wasn't about the product.
Yeah.
The product was present, but it wasn't about the product. It was about his experience with that competition, and he was pretty new to it. And you fell in love with Charlie and what he was up to and how he was going.
You were just following his journey for the weekend.
Right, exactly right. The product was along. It got mentioned a few times, but it was along for the ride. But it was about Charlie, and that we learned things out of doing that. And so we have one of the stories we want to tell at this particular event is about purely about the person and their experience, and the other one. We don't know if we're going to be able to do both. There's a few logistical challenges whether we can do both. We might, but we hope to do one.
There's definitely going to be one.
Yeah, and so one is about this particular competitor who is a really good competitor who's been out of action because of family reasons for a while, coming back to it. There's some struggles, some challenges, and that sort of thing there. And then the other one is again a product, but we don't want to follow the product. We want to follow the person.
Yeah.
Now that will promote the product well, but this is very much storytelling, and that's really one of the crafts that I think in marketing, in business, storytelling can trump. Hey, this product does this really well, and it's got these features. Actually, seeing this product in use as part of a story that you're interested in, you actually get to know the main character, and you get to know what they're going through and the challenges they're having.
Yeah.
And there's a product along for the ride. I think is a very interesting way of presenting. You get aware of the brand or the thing it is, but your buy-in is with the person you're following.
Yeah, I don't think there's any point of diving down into the storytelling path that you go, no, we're good now. We just want all the good shots and that's it. They serve a purpose, but it's the story that sells what you're trying to sell. Even if you're not, that's not the thing you're trying to necessarily promote. Put it there. People are aware that it's there, but you get sucked in and drawn. Drawn to the character.
Yeah, correct. And it is there is a balance here. There is a balance because if you don't get that balance right between, hey, we've got to make sure that the product is known, right? So you can go all story, all character, all this sort of thing. People buy in for that, and they'll finish watching it. And then you'd be like, do you know what, tell me about what you took away from it. And they won't even realize there was a product involved.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, you used what product?
Yeah, that might be the dial too far turned one way. And then the other way is where it is a straight up advert.
Yeah.
And it is like you've got the main character talking about the benefits and the features and this and that of this product. And you're like, that's also, that's good. That has its value if that was your goal.
Yeah.
But we're not trying to do that. We're just trying to connect a product that's relevant, that is good, into a story that you'll walk away enjoying the story and you're aware that that product exists.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to see some of the benefits from it and, oh, cool, it does this.
You naturally, organically see it in use. That's right. Yeah, absolutely. And so what we've often done with products is we'll get a product that someone sent us and we won't make one video about it. We will make 4. Yeah. And we're starting to trend towards one that is, hey, this is the product and here's the good things about it and here's the things that, like good and bad and all this sort of gear. Like a review. It's basically a product review.
Get your first look review.
Correct. And then you've also got like the glamour shots of the really nice, photogenic sort of looking things. And when you go, oh, wow, that looks awesome.
Yeah.
And then, but then what we like to do is tell a story that product's connected to somehow. And that we're finding the balance with that, but it's super powerful.
Yeah.
And so on that particular, that one with Charlie that we alluded to before, that video has been our best trending video on that particular YouTube channel for a long time. By a long way. By a good 20,
not just,
20
it's a little bit better. It's,
it is
a
significant.
big margin.
Yeah. And so it is a really effective way of doing it. And then you get comments about the story, about the person, and you get comments about the product. And that is a good mix. So what are you eyeing off there?
Oh, I'm just seeing things in the screen behind you.
Okay.
Things are flashing.
Very good. Very good. So that is our plan for the next, and then we got to drive back. And if we have the energy, we might do like a challenge video where we have to do certain things on the way back.
We'll make a story out of it.
Yeah, we probably don't have the energy, but we'll see how we go.
Yeah, we'll see how the weekend pans out.
Exactly.
Sorry,
right.
The week pans out.
Yeah, it's 8 or 9 days, depending on how well we come back. Josh, I'm out of gin. You're out of gin.
I am.
We are minutes away from being able to do this masterclass. So, guys, episode 4, thank you very much for joining us all. Look forward to some conversations with other people, not just us, soon. And thanks for watching.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
See you next time.